Yes! We also have some donations to get caught up on our end as well. Dominish with $5. And I'm sorry we missed these guys. Again, we've been really on the MATCHERINO hype train, and I have not been checking our donations. I'm not doing well with this. But Dominish with $5 says, Rifkin, can I be in your heart too? And I guess you can, little buddy. I guess you can. We also have $5 from... Where'd this one go? Cerner says, sorry I hurt your feelings, Rifkin. Rifkin is at... Hashtag Rifkin is actually hella handsome. Hell yeah! Hell yeah. And of course, last but not least, Blacksword 30 minutes ago says, I'm a turbo user and I have ad block, so the perfect combo for not contributing much. Hoping to do a bit then. Keep up the good work. Thank you for $30. But alright, folks. It's a strong 2-0 lead for this guy in the top left corner of the map. He's French, he's Terran, and he's looking way better today than he did at Home Story Cup qualifiers. He's blue. It's Millennium's MarineLord.
In the bottom left, as the red Zerg, it's Liquid TLO.
So as I mentioned before when we were describing Scarlet's match and Hearthstone and all them, what we tend to do is I have in mind, like when I do these show matches or we get together with folks to work with them, MATCHERINO will be like, hey, I want to see a TVZ. And I'll be like, great, let me pick the players. And sometimes people say yes, some people say no. But they said, yeah, sure, you can pick your players. So I went to TLO first and I said, TLO, man, you did so good last time. People love you. We tweeted a thing and people begged us to get TLO. So we had to get him on board. He said, no problem. And I asked, who do you want to fight as a Terran? And he said, the harder, the better. I want practice. So while this isn't going so hot for him right now, MarineLord did prove to be a really hard opponent to grab for this. That 2-0 lead is quite strong.
Yeah, MarineLord, I think he got to the losers bracket in Home Straight Cup, right? Uthermal got like the top bracket. Right?
I'm actually not remembering at all.
I think that's what happened.
I just remember I remember watching MarineLord Dead is sort of, and my heart broke. That's all I really remember. And then yeah, that's right, actually, because then Uthermal played sort of afterwards, right? And we're like, can he do this? And he made him look like a child in his hands, putty and all that.
Losers bracket was so easy for MarineLord. So as where I was gonna go with that is that he might have lost to someone once, but he very quickly recovered and has now been looking not unbeatable in Legacy of the Void, but certainly one of the best Terrans Legacy of the Void.
By the way, just to recap, Riomar is currently the top donor with $161. Samurai has fallen to second place with $151, and then third place really falls off with $30 for Love Tool. But these two guys really helping double the prize pool just on their own. But all the promo codes getting used, $715 hype, and of course even better than that, we got like what, 6,000 people on the stream. This is such a sick day for show matches. I hope you guys have enjoyed it as much as we have, and I want to thank you for getting involved. And while they cannot hear us, shoutouts go to Take TV, as well as Yogo, covering the stream in French. Take TV covering in German for helping promote this and getting people involved and making this show match the biggest prize pool possible for all these players.
I also think that it's one of the only days where we don't have a bazillion other StarCraft events going on.
Yeah,
what happened the last couple of days.
This weekend was pretty intense, but even then, that was awesome having Nation Wars, Home Story Cup, all this good stuff going on. All we were missing was Total Biscuit coming back with like another Sandisk matchup or something to really just like have everybody firing on all cylinders.
Ooh, TLO really changing things up here with the Roach Warren. I think that's needed. So he tried to correct his macro game last game with those Corruptors, but still didn't work. And I changed it up completely and going to Roaches. I like that a lot.
But it's not just Roaches, but it's Roach, Ravager, Corruptor. You guys keep hearing me talk about it on stream, and sadly it feels like it's very rarely we ever get to cast it. But with the Orena specifically having these really terrible chokes going north and south in the middle, Ravager, Corrosive Bile is just constantly being piled onto here. Means Marines and Marauders never get to walk through this point. But in fairness, this whole series so far has not been walking across the map. It's been a lot of drops and a lot of harass and a lot of action at a MarineLord.
Yeah. The Roaches will double as Ravagers. Oh, there you go. 3 Ravagers already on the way. To deal with the Liberators easier. And they'll also have a really nice mid-game push. So.
For me, these 3 Ravagers that just got made were like the biggest mark of the beta. The biggest change in things, the biggest shift in balance, and the biggest evidence that something like a Liberator, which was deemed as impossibly OP and unbeatable, was in fact beatable with the right solution and the right combination of units. 3 Ravagers are exactly how many corrosive bottles it'll take to knock it out of the sky, and a Liberator cannot move while dealing all of that massive damage. So it's not a big deal right now, but this is a huge part of the way the game evolved, going from beta to live.
Yeah. It's been fun watching it develop the entire time.
No, the corrosive bottles take out one of the bunkers, which is good, but it costs quite a few hits on those Ravagers.
Not really an army that TLO can push up that ramp with, especially since MarineLord has taken this threat very seriously. Extra bunker, tanks sieged up, nothing's gonna happen there. Oh, the drones, where are you going? Oh, you're gonna just stay right there. All right then. They're probably trying to escape the Liberator, but they're gonna fail. Oh, Liberator flies right over a Queen.
Queen hype!
Die.
Oh, 3 health!
Wow.
Almost. Ravager might catch it. Maybe? Maybe?
I don't think it can. No.
No.
Well, helps. TLO doesn't even see it. Okay, so double Evo chambers for TLO. You can go into a macro game, obviously, with Roach Ravager, and you can have a very powerful mid-game push. But MarineLord, every single time we've seen him... Well, no, I take that back. That was one time with the Reaper opener. But otherwise, when he faces Roach Ravager, he tends to just kind of demolish it. He stims in, stutter steps. Just
Oh, God.
no problem.
Yeah, I was just mentioning with you before how I forgot most of Homestory Cup qualifiers off the top of my head, but I do remember the stutter step micro being so on point for MarineLord. Unfortunately, this drop does get scouted, but also unfortunately, all the armies across the map, so...
Yeah. So much for scouting it. Queens should probably be the first target. You know, the Overlords looks kind of juicy since there's like 7 of them right there, but doesn't get much at all. Has to retreat.
Surprised doesn't drop off one Marine just to kill this Overlord. Take away that
Yeah.
protection, that vision.
It would
Creep
be
spread, by
worth
the
it.
way. God damn, already across the map.
Well, MarineLords are like been on the defensive the entire time, so it makes sense. And I really like that TLO realized he could, you know, do this, be as aggressive as he is.
Yeah, just get away with it.
Soon, MarineLord will be pushing out. Oh! Okay, no, never mind. Maybe not soon. I thought he already had stim, and that's why he started in combat shields, but not the case. He just was really late on a tech lab, I suppose. And combat shields first, because it is the quicker upgrade, and still a fairly important upgrade, but without stim, you can't really maneuver like you do with Marines. Like you usually see.
I know you said you do in a general sense, but I want to pretend like you meant me, and you're giving me a compliment, so thank you.
You're welcome.
Liberator is going to be struggle to be dealt with. The tank in this drop was kind of unconventional. I don't think TLO was expecting it, so it gets a little out of hand, but it's worth noting, as messy as these have been, his drop defense this game way better than last game.
Yeah, it helps that this map, while it is so short in distance and you know you're going to be dropped, you at least know you're going to be dropped in one location. On Ruins, TLO had about 5 different locations dropped consistently, and it's hard to keep track of that.
Nice.
It also really helps that he has creep spotting everywhere else.
What else helps? They took down this rock, so he gets here on top of the army quick enough. On top of these tanks, runs to that dead zone. I'm not sure if this is worth the dedication, but he does remove a lot of siege tanks from play.
I really don't know what happened to MarineLord Stim. Does he
They're
not
still
notice he doesn't have it?
I just think he doesn't notice he doesn't have it. I didn't realize it wasn't done. What the Yeah, you're 8
Yeah,
minutes into
yeah.
the game and it's not begun. It's a 2-minute upgrade. It'll be a long time. Oh, that Liberator goes down with that last shot of the Ravager, but...
I thought he did a relatively normal build. Like...
He did. Ah, man, I just think he's not realized it. Although, you gotta imagine, like, for a Terran player dropping all over the place, Stim is the first thing you're gonna be reaching for. He's gotta be going, like, why is this not doing anything?
I mean, Gumiho forgot Stim for 14 minutes. And still won, by the way, with Bio. So it is possible they don't notice. He might have accidentally canceled it and then started combat shields thinking it was done, because usually you do get combat shields afterwards, unless it's a very specific build. Or maybe he meant to get combat shields first, and then, you know, you're not used to that, so you forget Stim. I've done that before in
Maybe
2DT.
this is the ultimate BM. He's up 2 in the series. Says I can do
It's a
this.
handicap.
He's got like a side bet going on. It's not about match fixing or anything like
Oh.
that. It's just about like, can I do this?
He noticed. Okay. Took him a while. I don't know. Well, drops aren't going to be nearly as potent as they are with Stim, but they are still useful. They're still going to draw units back, force units to stay in certain positions, you know, take away from the main army, the main attack. TLO has not gone for a main attack too. I mean, he almost did, but they kind of, you know, washed each other out, and then he left. He didn't win. He didn't lose with it. And usually at that point, you know, at this point, I should say, you know, they haven't won with Roach Ravager, well, Bio's usually going to start beating them. But without Stim, that's not the case necessarily.
Double infestation pit. Either a mistake or he's predicting to lose one.
Oh, I don't know.
I think it's a mistake.
Yeah.
Because like, what are you gonna be like?
Parasite.
Okay, I want neural parasite and pathogen glands. That timing.
Yeah. Well, TLO, I mean, I think what's odd about forgetting things like combat shields or stim, especially stim, is that your opponent also just figures they're gonna have it. Just like you kind of figure they have Storm if they have Templars, or they have Centrifugal Hooks if they have Banelings. You just figure like, sooner or later they're going to get it, but they actually forgot.
It's like that assumption too, where you're like you're a fellow programmer. I respect and assume you're good enough to have done that, but. Kind of like Stim, I guess, for TLO, right? Like, he just assumes there's been Stim this whole time.
And even if you realize, like, this has happened, like, twice in pro games that we've cast, even if you notice, like, hey, those are still slow Banelings, you're never going to push on to creep to try and snipe them, because what if that's the second Centrifugal Hooks finishes?
Right. That snap second can be so dangerous. Now, there was no Spire this game, and we do have Passing Glands coming out, but I would have loved to have seen Corruptors as a good way to try and catch these drops. But this attack coming is scary. 15 Ravagers are a lot of Corrosive Biles, but they're not clumped up. They're not consolidated at all in TLO. Ooh, this is bad, Zombie Grove. This is really bad.
Yeah, he really doesn't have a good army, and the only reason he had a decent army was because Stim was missing. After that attack didn't win the game, Roach Ravager really falls off. He finds the army a little disjointed, but it's still not good enough. GG.
That's going to be the 3-0 for MarineLord, looking on freaking fire. And of course, final recap of this is 770.